Welcome everyone to a new series that I am going to call What Makes This Photo Great. This is going to be a new series where I explore some iconic photos that have been taken around the world since photography was invented. You know, there's been some really amazing photographs that have been taken by a lot of amazing artists over the years, and so that's really why I want to explore a bit about the photo, what makes that photo great, and also a little bit about the artist as well and how that photograph came to being. So the first photo that I'm going to have a look at for episode 1 is called VJ Day in Times Square. Now this photograph is very iconic and it was first published in Life magazine on August 27th, 1945. So this photo got a full page spread as part of a wider collection in Life magazine, just simply entitled Victory Celebrations. And even though it was part of a bigger, wider spread of images used for victory celebrations in Life magazine, this photo has really become iconic and really captures the moment of the celebrations for the end of World War II for the United States. So quickly, for those of you who don't know what VJ Day is, VJ Day basically means Victory over Japan Day. Now this obviously came at the end of World War II, where the Japanese surrendered to the Americans, and then therefore there was some celebrations through August. I think it was August 15th and the actual day happened, and then this photograph was taken in Times Square as the United States citizens celebrated their victory over Japan. So before we have a closer look at the actual photograph, let's have a closer look at the artist. And the artist's name was Alfred Eisensteardt. He was born in 1898 in Germany, but he is or was an American citizen who passed away in the late 90s, and I think that was about 1998. And when really exploring his work, he really found out how much of an icon Alfred is to the photography community, and he really became known as the father of photojournalism. As I delved deeper into Alfred's work, I really found out that he was an amazing portrait photographer as well. And you can see here some of the other images that he took of some really famous people. He just knew all the most iconic people of the 20th century, whether that be from a celebrity status, from film and television, all the way through to politics, and then also everyday life as well. He was an amazing photographer, and he really pioneered the use of this smaller 35mm camera format, whereas at the time, around the late 30s and into 40s, most photojournalists were using medium format and full format cameras with the big flash on the side. Alfred really pioneered the use of the 35mm camera and just took the snaps that way. And he really pioneered also the use of natural light. As I mentioned before, a lot of the photojournalists were using the big medium and full format cameras with the flash on the side, whereas Alfred really chose to use natural light and his 35mm camera as well. So he was a real pioneer in that space. Pleasingly, when you have a look at Alfred and how he started in photography, it's probably just like most of us. He got it as a gift from his uncle when he was a boy, and that really triggered his interest in photography, and he was just self-taught. He taught all the aspects of photography himself. So he's a self-taught photographer who got a gift as a camera when he was a kid from his uncle. Alfred's first professional photography assignment was to capture the 1929 Nobel Prize ceremony, and then from there he moved over to the United States in the mid-1930s, where he was employed by a variety of magazines such as Harper's Bazaar and Town & Country. After working for those publications, he moved over to Life magazine, where he worked for the next 40 years. He was very iconic in Life magazine, and with many covers of Life using Alfred's photographs. So if we move now to the actual photograph of VJ Day celebrations, what makes this photo great? Well, you know, if you have a look at the moment, it's probably not the best composed photograph, and Alfred actually even mentions that in some documentaries, and his focus was really in this photograph around the background. So, you know, there's probably a little bit too much headroom above the subjects, and you know, he's not right in the middle of the road to create some amazing lead lines, But really what Alfred was focusing on here, as he talks through some documentaries, was to focus on the background and the people around getting the balance right. So there was a series of 4 photos that Alfred took of this actual kiss happening, and he picked one really just around where the sailors in the background were moving as they were walking, and that's how he picked it. And from a balance composition perspective, that's how he came up with those that one photo out of the 4 that he took. You know, this really just represents a moment in time, and that really captures the aspect of photojournalism, you know, really capturing the essence of what people were feeling at the time, especially at the end of World War II, with the United States having victory over Japan. And this moment really encapsulates that freedom of spirit and the adulation that everyone was having as the war was coming to an end. And so that's why it really became iconic. And interestingly, there was another US Navy photographer called Victor Jorgensen who actually took a photo of the exact same moment from a different angle. And you can see here Victor's photo just off slightly to the right, but this never reached the iconic status of Alfred's photograph. This photo from Victor was used by the New York Times the next day, but like I mentioned before, it never got the same notoriety as the one that Alfred took. Here are some words from Alfred himself on how he decided to compose the shot and how he came up with using that final image he took of VJ Day celebrations.
I want to show you an interesting thing. I took exactly 4 pictures. And this is a picture I picked because that pleased me best. It was done within a few seconds, but 4 or 5 seconds. He was still kissing the girl.
Why did this particular picture please you more than the other?
On account of composition. You see, when you look, it is best, for my eyes, bestly balanced. See some white. See, this man doesn't look good. He is too tall. He takes the emphasis away from this picture. He is just right. He's too tall again. He has nothing. You see, this is the best. You see, if this sailor would have been here, wouldn't have been good. Too much white. He's standing out. This is the best picture of all. It pleases me best.
So that's a quick summary of VJ Day in Times Square. Look, like I mentioned, it's a really iconic photograph that really summarized the end of World War II in that moment. Interestingly, there is a modern interpretation of this photo now where some people are saying that, you know, this was tantamount to sexual assault because the US soldier just was grabbing a woman and kissing without her permission. Look, you know, for me as a photographer and an artist, you know, that's I'm really looking at the focus of the actual image, but it's really just interesting to see the new interpretations as society moves into different areas. So yeah, that's an interesting point to note as well. I hope you enjoyed that little insight into the photograph VJ Day in Times Square. I'm going to have a look at some more photographs as well in some upcoming episodes and have a delve a little bit into how that photograph was created and the artist in behind them. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, subscribe as well. I'd really very much appreciate it, and I'll talk to you again soon. Thanks, bye.